Welcome back to part 2 of this series. Now, when one is looking at the year ahead, in my view, it is very important to be as positive as possible. Yes, we know that 2018 is going to have a lot of challenges. We know that we have a lot that is before us. Yes, there's a lot of unpredictability, there's a lot of gloom, etc., etc. However, even in those circumstances, it is very important to stay as positive as possible. Every dark cloud has its silver lining. That is very true. Now, one of the dark clouds that is hanging over 2018, in case you did not know, is the economy, finances. Now, as we are hurtling towards a serious political crisis of unprecedented magnitude, yes, we're also hurtling towards a very serious economic crisis, unheard of and unseen on these shows before. And I'm not sure which one will hit us first, but for sure, finances, the economy is going to catch up with Kenya very, very fast. Now, apart from the fact that politics has really limited economic activity in 2017, especially the latter part of 2017, apart from that, there's one other very huge problem we have that is going to affect our economy, that is going to come to haunt us in the year 2018. Yeah, and without going into complicated economic terms, to really simplify it, what has happened is that Kenya has overborrowed. Yeah. Now, many economists believe that this overborrowing was based on anticipated income from oil exploration in Turkana, yeah, where vast amounts of oil, yeah, crude oil, were discovered. In other words, when you borrow, you need security. Yeah. In other words, the security for this borrowing was the oil. Yeah, and the thinking was that this borrowing will fast track economic development. Yes. And then the economic development will benefit Kenyans, will be able to pay back those loans. And if the worst comes to the worst, by the time the oil starts coming out of the ground, yeah, a few years from now, everything will be fine. Now, let me simplify this issue even further by giving you a personal story. Yeah, wacha tuingie Domez. I have often had big quarrels with my wife over this issue, okay? And the issue is this: you don't spend money that is not in your pocket. Golden rule of finances. You know that you have 20,000 in your pocket, okay? And you know that in 5 days' time, Mr. Patel is going to pay you 1 million shillings, okay? So this 20,000 in your pocket, you spend like there's no tomorrow. And then even the 1 million which Mr. Patel has not yet paid you, you go somewhere and you take something on credit. You go somewhere, you pay for something and say, okay, I make this payment. In 5 days, I'll give you the balance. You know, that kind of thing. Now, sometimes it works. It works, and sure enough, in 5 days' time, Mr. Patel releases your million bob, your kamili, as Kenyans like referring to it rather, and you're good, okay? But more often than not, 5 days later, Mr. Patel starts giving you stories. I'm having a bit of problems. Let me collect your money next week. Your 20,000 is gone, pooh. You have nothing. Yeah. On paper, you're supposed to be a millionaire, but hiyo pesa haijafika kwa mfuko bado. Yeah. So what do? You're in a fix. Yeah. Golden financial rule: never spend money that is not in your pocket. Yeah. It is such a good rule that if you follow it, itakusaidia sana kwa maisha. Now, the crux of the problem, the big economic crisis that's coming to Kenya, is just simply that we started spending a lot of money that was not yet in our pocket as Kenya. It was assumed that the large infrastructural investments like the SGR would generate jobs, generate income for Kenyans, have an impact, generally get things going. We assumed that many of the other policies the government had put in place would really take off, and Kenya's GDP would grow dramatically. Then there would be no problem because the country would have money. There'd be money flowing through the economy. Hakuna shida. Hakuna matata, as some would like to say it. But it did not quite work out like that. Some unforeseen circumstances, unforeseen things threw some very serious spanners into the works. Drought, for instance, wreaked havoc in the Kenyan economy, and a number of other factors which I don't want to go into right now, because we're just going through this very quickly. The result is Kenya is now stuck with a huge, unprecedented debt. Okay, and you see, debts need to be financed. You need to pay. And in my view, if I can just interrupt what I'm saying, in my view, one of the other things we got wrong was you do not start an infrastructural project which you expect the vast majority of Kenyans to benefit from, and then you hire a Chinese firm. Hey, that one doesn't work. The Chinese are masters of ensuring that they benefit tremendously, that they mostly benefit from whatever project they participate in. They will ensure that the vast majority of the benefit of that project goes back to China. These guys are gurus in that. So you build the SGR, and you employ a lot of Kenyans, along the way as the railway track comes all the way from Mombasa to Nairobi. However, when you do your sums at the end of the day, pesa nyingi ilienda nje, pesa nyingi ilirudi kwa Chinese. And then if you throw in the politics, the political tensions in the country, the uncertainty and so on, which is keeping away investors and other investors who had already committed, it's delaying their flow of funds because nobody wants to put in money where there's uncertainty. Money is sensitive. You put it in where you're very certain, or you're certain as possible. And above everything else, what is really scary about the economy is the fact that a key driver of the economy, any economy, the banks, are in trouble. The huge profits which banks have been enjoying in this country have mainly been fueled by fleecing customers. I think I can't put it in any other better language. And fleecing customers how? With the interest rates. The bank pays you a pittance. If you go and deposit money and you want interest, they give you very little money. But then they're giving out a loan, they give interest rates that are just crazy. And the excuse they've been giving is that, we have a lot of bad loans, this covers the bad loans, which is actually partly true. But the Jubilee government did something which in my view had very good intentions. They capped the interest rates. That is, they limited the amount of spread that a bank would charge in terms of interest rates. The gap between what they pay out in interest and what they charge in interest. There was a cap put on that. And this has hit banks in a very, very big way. Banks that were making a huge profit just the other day are now posting losses. Okay? And what's more is that they've laid off thousands and thousands of workers. It is estimated that in the year 2017, a total of 2,083 bankers were sent home. Wow, that's a high number. And the bad news is that the layoffs are ongoing. Bila kizungu mingi, what all this means is that the Kenyan economy is headed to a very, very serious unprecedented crisis. And to make matters worse, this economic crisis is coming at the same time as the most serious political crisis Kenya has ever faced. You get my drift? Two big giants are hitting you at the same time. What? Will you survive? Now, of course, I started this by saying we have to look at things positively. Now, here's the catch. Look, if you look down through history, right from the, for example, the American Great Depression, when banks were failing, the economy was down. If you look through that period, let's start with the US, the Great Depression era, produced an unprecedented number of new millionaires in America. Yani, an unprecedented amount of people got rich, yeah, when the economy was on its knees. Now, of course, some of them did this illegally, yeah, because there was something called bootlicking, that is selling alcohol, which was illegal in the US at that time. Yeah, that's a long story for another day, okay? But a vast majority of other people also made money legally. Why? Because when there's a problem, another word for problem in the mind of a businessman is opportunity. Another word for problem in the mind of a very sharp individual who does not have a business and who has nothing, yeah, is something called opportunity. Many problems, many opportunities. So I want you to face this year looking at it as a year of opportunities, unprecedented opportunities, okay? Because somebody who before could not even talk to you, had no interest in you, had no interest in your services, now if you present something to them that will help them solve their nagging problems, you have a deal. For example, children have to go to school. Yeah, you're a down and out Kenyan, you have no job, you have nothing, but you have a bicycle. Yeah, convince a few parents to take their children to school in a bicycle. Okay, they might have never considered this before, but times are hard. One option, yeah, they, convince them that you're a very safe bicycle rider. You can get them to school on time using your bicycle, and it's cheap, and you have a new job. Yeah, I know this is a crazy example, but I just decided to choose this one so that you realize really the sky is the limit. Anybody can benefit, yeah, from the chaos, from the troubles, from the obstacles, from the problems that 2018 is going to be. Yeah, that's why I said right from the beginning, turn a bad situation into a good situation, or as the Americans put it, if they throw lemon at you, make lemonade. Nasikia lemonade juice is very, very tame. Until next time, this is Kshs Kumekucha.